Hey, what's up guys? It's Joshua Earp here again, and I wanted to film some more videos for you to teach you more about search engine optimization and specifically backlinking and what you can do to take what you've learned so far and combine it with what I'm about to teach you and to form a more cohesive structure within your SEO so that you can rank websites on the first page of Google and YouTube videos and Amazon stores, etc., without having to pay a ridiculous amount of money for traffic and start to get the leads and conversions that you need. So if you remember correctly from last lesson, we used SEMrush and we did the market analysis, we did the competitive analysis, and we did the keyword analysis. And so with SEMrush, it allows you to put in your website, it allows you to put in your keyword, etc., and it will give you a report and tell you exactly what you should be targeting, etc. So when we get into backlinking, what we're going to do is I want you to keep this fundamental type of thought in your head because Google is a search engine spider, okay? And what they do is they crawl the entire internet and other documents linking to other documents, and they determine where they should rank, okay? So if we have two websites optimized for the term dog toys, now with SEO, you always want to remember that search engine optimization consists basically of two different pillars. The first pillar is on-page optimization, meaning what is my URL, what is my title, etc. And my keyword density, which keyword density is a fancy way of saying, you know, how many times does my keyword I want to rank for appear in my content? And so there's on-page optimization and there's off-page optimization. And so what we're going to be talking about today is a little bit of both, but mostly the off-page. So Google, let's understand where we have been in order to understand where we're going to go. So the old algorithm, which is Google, used to crawl different websites and then determine by their on-page optimization who ranks where. So if two pages are optimized for the same key term, such as dog toys, for instance, then what that means is they then look at the backlinks pointing to the sites that are linking to your website, if that makes sense. Okay, so basically, to keep it simple, Google looks not only at your on-page optimization, but they also crawl the sites that are linking to you. Okay, so say these are money sites, right? So we're conducting our transaction there. So a money site is basically any website that you want to make money with. And these right here are other domains that are linking to you, okay? And so Google, if there's two websites or more than two websites that are competing for the same keyword, what they do is they look at all the sites linking to you. And it used to be based off quantity. So you used to be able to just link to yourself over and over and over again and rank at the top. But now they switch it to quality. And so what we're going to be doing is teaching you some things that you can be doing to get high quality backlinks so that you can rank your website, rank your video, get more views, get more traffic, get more conversions, and ultimately be more happy. So with this being said, this is the old way that it used to work. Okay, so what we're going to be talking about mostly, since we covered most of the on-page stuff in other lessons, we're going to be talking about the off-page, meaning the links going directly to your website. So with that being said, if we have our money site, let's say this is domain.com, for instance. So a backlink is a website that is linking to you. So if you read, if you're on a website and you read the article and there's a little blue hyperlink there that says click here or go here, etc., that's called a backlink. And so there used to be this thing called link farms or reciprocal linking, which is where you could call all your friends and be like, yo, I want you to link to me, and in return, I'll link to you. And so the thing is Google actually caught on to that, so now they only count one-way links. So whereas you used to be able to link to someone and they would link to you, now it's all about these sites right here that are linking to your site. That is what they look at, and this is the anchor text. So your anchor text is an extremely important factor in determining where you rank, because Google is a machine. They're not a human, so they can't really analyze everything as a human would. So all they have to go off of is things like this, anchor text. And acquiring these links is also something we're going to be talking about today. So how do you acquire links? How do you get these high-quality links going to your website? And also, what anchor text do I use? Those are common questions. And in fact, that's what we're going to talk about right now. So there's many different types of ways to get links. There are citations. Okay? So a citation is an example of a website that is linking to your money site, but it contains your name, address, and telephone number. So always remember that, name, address, telephone number. So even if it's myspace.com or Facebook or whatever it is linking to your domain, that is considered a citation as long as it has your what? Your name, address, and telephone number. So citations are a wonderful place. You can search on the internet for, buy citations. Moz.com is another great place to go to get them. So you can go, once again, Moz, M-O-Z.com. You can also go to Fiverr, or you can go to a place called SEO Clerks. And once again, that's SEOclerks.com. And it's basically a marketplace for SEO to where you can just pick out whatever you want to buy. You can type in citations, and then you'll be able to buy some citations. So there are citations. Now there also are social links. So these are an example of, like, say, Twitter, Facebook. They're also called Web 2.0. So if you actually think about it, Google, if you actually think about what the internet is and the actual framework in which it exists, Google just crawls other websites that link to other websites. And if you think about the internet, that's all the internet really is. It's just a bunch of websites or articles linking to other articles. Now, obviously, that's called Web 1.0, by the way. And over the years, what they've seen is, since the invention, obviously, of video and that going online, also forums where people can interact and social properties where people can talk, that's where we call Web 2.0 the adjective that describes that, because in reality, that's what it is. So social links are very important. If you don't have any social links linking to you, then Google's going to think that you're not very authoritative in your market. So there's citations, social links. There's also redirects, which we're going to talk about that one in later videos, or we'll talk about that later. Basically, it's like a 301 redirect. So it's whenever one site redirects you to another site in the HTTP response. But that's not as important right now. Citations, social links. There's also, which are Web 2.0 links. So, it doesn't have to be like a social, quote-unquote, property. It could be like a, like Stumble Upon, which is, I guess, kind of social, but it's more bookmarks. It's more of that type of stuff, okay? Then there's forums. You can get links from related forums, especially ones that are relative to your market. So if they're talking about, say, dog toys, for instance, and I'm trying to rank for that keyword, then that would be a good option. Now there's also something that is called PBNs, okay? So PBNs stand for Private Blog Networks. So once again, that is Private Blog Networks. It's basically a network of websites that you own that nobody else knows that you own because you're blocking the whois, etc. And you're using them to link to your website. Because if they're all on the same IP and there's different IPs linking to your, or they're all the same IP linking to your website, that's going to cause what's known as a footprint. And so a footprint is any time Google can catch a pattern of something that they don't like. So for instance, if I link to myself over and over again, and Google, they decide that, or they see that there's the same IP that all these links are coming from, then they're going to what's called slap it. Okay, so it's called the Google slap. It's whenever you do something Google doesn't like, and they punish you for it by de-ranking you or removing you from their index. But if you do this correctly, the way that we're going to show you, then you will be absolutely okay, because this is exactly how the internet works. And as long as you have all your footprints covered, you'll be all right. And no, this is not black hat. This is not even technically gray hat. This is just how the internet works. This is not a fly-by-night tactic that may work today and might not work later. This has been working. This has been what's always worked, because I've been fortunate enough to learn from mentors that have been doing SEO since before it ever even had a name, since before it was even called SEO, which is back when you had to pay someone to list your business #1 in the Yahoo directory. So thankfully, we're all able to stand on the shoulders of giants here. And this is a pretty old technique as well. And so these are like an example of different types of links that you can go out and get right here, okay? And then link to your money site or link to your domain. And what's going to happen is if you give enough links with the right anchor text to your website, let's say you're selling, once again, dog toys, for instance. Well, if you're #1 in Google, every time somebody types in the word dog toys, then obviously you're going to get some sales, right? So that's exactly what's going on here. Now, with this being said, you might say that's great and all, but what anchor text do I use? And the answer is, it does depend, but I'm going to give you the criteria in which you can make your decisions, okay? So there's something called an EMD, which stands for exact match domain. And what that means is that your keyword is, your domain is exactly the keyword that you want to rank for. So if I was trying to rank for like dog toys, then this would be dogtoys.com, okay? That's what the EMD would be. So there's also a PMD, which is a partial match domain. So that means, you know, if my domain was like best dog toys, then that would be known as a PMD. And then there's also things that are branded. So that means that I don't have the keyword at all in my domain name. So something like Wikipedia, for instance. That would be something that is branded, or tailopez.com, right? That's branded towards his personal brand. So it doesn't necessarily contain any keywords that he wants to rank for. So there's EMD, PMD, and branded. Now your anchor text right here is going to, you know, if you're asking yourself the question, hey, this is great and all, but I don't know what anchor text to use. Well, the anchor text that you use is going to be dependent upon whether you have an EMD, whether you have a PMD, or whether you have a branded, okay? So if you have an EMD, first of all, let's cover something called over-optimization. So over-optimization is a penalty that Google gives you if you are too over-optimized for your keyword. Meaning if I have dogtoys.com/dogtoys, my title says dog toys, and then the first paragraph says, dog toys are really awesome. If you like dog toys, click here, then there's a link that says dog toys, right? So that's an example of over-optimization. Now back in the day, you used to be able just to put your keyword into the content a million times, and just because you had the keyword in the content a million times, you'd actually end up ranking. But then as Google got older and smarter, they developed strategies against that. And so, you know, people would even combat that back in the day with uploading a whole block of text that was like white letters. Say it was like dog toys over and over, and then they would upload that to a white background so that nobody else could see it. It's called keyword stuffing, and you want to stay far away from it. So with that being said, anchor text. So EMD, PMD, branded. Now the reason why we covered over-optimization is because if you have an EMD, meaning your domain is exactly the keyword you want to rank for, then that is a problem if you're over-optimized on your anchor text, because over-optimization is a much more hair-trigger thing than it used to be. So whereas we used to be able to send links like just dog toys, etc., what we had to start doing is we had to start mixing it up, especially for an EMD. So if I was trying to rank for dog toys, then my anchor text would be something like this. I would start out with a URL. Then I would do an LSI. Then I would do a PMK. Then I would do an EMK. And I would do other. Okay. Then I would do another LSI. I would do some more URL. I would do an EMK. Okay. And then I would do another other. All right. So before we get into this, just know that there's basically 4 to 5 different categories of anchor text, okay? So there is something that is called branded. So this will be right here, the anchor text categories. Okay, so this is the anchor text categories. There's branded, And then there is something that's known as PMK, which is partial match keyword. So it's not dog toys, which would be the exact match. It would be something like best dog toys. Then we have EMK, which is the exact match keyword. And then we also have other/generic. So that includes things like click here, go here, etc. So branded, partial match keywords, exact match keywords, other/generic, and then we also have URL-based anchor text, which means that whenever you're building a link, it basically means that you're just leaving the naked URL the way that it is. So instead of highlighting a word like click here and then that's what links to your website, what is going on is you're actually just using the URL and saying, hey, click this link if you want to learn more, and then providing the link. And whenever they click that URL, or naked URL they call it, then that is the anchor text. So, and then we also have something called LSI. Okay, so LSI stands for Latent Semantic Index Keywords. And that is just a fancy way of saying synonym. So, you know, if you're doing this exercise and you're trying to think of an LSI keyword for, say, dog toys, maybe it would be like canine playthings or something like that, something similar. But overall, this is the anchor text categories right here. Okay? So to be able to ask yourself the question when you're doing SEO, what anchor text should I build to my money site? Well, these are the categories you have to choose from, and you just want to make sure that you're not over-optimized for your keyword that you want to rank for. So if you notice, if I had my domain, so let's say it's domain.com/dog toys, right? I want to make sure that my title of that page, which is represented by this whole circle, this is my money site, so the URL is this. The title is going to be the keyword sandwiched between other keywords, so best dog toys online. Okay, so you see how that's sandwiched between other keywords. And my anchor text, right? So you've built your page. Now it's time to link to your page so that you can rank it. And say we have domain.com/dog toys. Our title is best dog toys online. The number one thing I don't want to do is start building links from these authoritative properties, the way that I've shown you, with the keyword dog toys over and over again. So that's why I told you right here, if I was building links to this site, this is what I would use. I would use URL. I would use the next one. And this is all coming from different domains. So each different link or each different anchor text you see right here is coming from a separate domain. Because you don't want to just link from one website. You want to acquire as many links from as many high-quality places as possible when you're building your links. So if you notice here, I started it out with URL because URL is always the most natural to see in the search engines. For some reason, I don't know why, but more people use URL stuff more than any other type of anchor text. Even you yourself watching this at home right now, or wherever you might be, you have probably done a version of this, a version of link building without even knowing that you're doing link building. Because everybody's on Facebook, everybody's on Twitter, YouTube, etc. And if you come across an article that you like or some video is funny, you might share that to social media, or you might share the link, etc. So you're actually doing link building, and that's this part right here that we're talking about, the social links, or Web 2.0. You're doing link building and helping them rank without you even knowing it. You just thought you were sharing some video on Facebook or on YouTube because it was funny, but in reality, that type of behavior is what Google uses to rank their websites. Okay? So URL, you'll see that most commonly on like Facebook. I think they don't even let you use anchor text. They just let you do the URL. But there's other properties that will. And then LSI, Latent Semantic Index Keyword. So semantic is, semantic means of or relating to in language. So what's another way of saying it without saying it? So next one is PMK, partial match keyword. This would be, if my main keyword was dog toys, once again, this would be best dog toys. Or it could be dog toys online, or it could be, whatever. It doesn't really matter what it is, as long as it contains the keyword in it, but it's not just that keyword. The next thing is exact match keyword. Once again, this is exactly the keyword that you want to rank for, dog toys in this example. And then so forth and so on. So other is actually the other/generic, meaning click here, go here, visit now, I mean, we've all seen this type of stuff on the internet. And then I finish it up with URL, exact match keyword, and other. So I kind of switch it up. So I'm not just like, you know, dog toys, dog toys, dog toys, dog toys. I'm like URL, LSI, PMK, EMK, you know, which is the dog toys, other, LSI. So you want to take these categories right here and you want to mix it up. So you want to diversify your anchor text, because anchor text is a lot like assets. You know, you want to diversify. You don't ever want to be singular. So with that being said, we're going to draw this video to a close, and then in the next video, we will teach you some more awesome stuff. So thank you very much.